All right. Go ahead and call the Policy and Procedure Committee meeting to order. Amanda, please call the roll.
Anderson.
Present.
Hanson.
Yeah.
Bill.
Present.
Sure.
Here.
Schultz. Barron. Comwitty. Raymond.
Two are absent. Just enough to have a quorum. Meeting. Go ahead. Public comment.
Dave Beck, staff representative, asked me. I know you all are taking a look at the turnaround agenda resolution again, and you know, I know you've heard of all this stuff once before, but hey, it doesn't hurt to say it again. I want you to think about this resolution and look at the points and think, what is the theme? When you look at all the points, the theme, what I see is that working men and women of this state and this community are the ones that are at fault for the state's fiscal woes. You look at each point, and it's like those are the only things that are in there. If somebody wants a fair wage, that means they're at fault for the state's fiscal woes. If somebody's injured while working and they believe they should be paid for that or provided recompense, that they're at fault for the state's fiscal woes. If they want a voice in the workplace to try to help them have a little bit of sense of dignity, they're at fault for the state's fiscal woes. There's no mention of, say, corporate tax loopholes or incentives that are paid to some of the world's largest corporations and most profitable corporations. There's no mention of the financial mismanagement by past legislators and governors. Like, none of that's in there. It's just working people. He picks on everyday folks like you, like me. We're trying to make an honest living. We're trying to provide for our families. We're trying to build our communities. We spend pretty much everything that we make. We do this right in our community. We don't, we live right here. I live in Champaign, but I spend most of my money in Champaign. The folks that live and work here spend most of their money in Iroquois County. Some of the particular points, the right to work zones. Studies have shown that the workers in right to work zone states make $5,000 less a year. Not just the union workers, but all the workers in those states make $5,000 less a year than they do in states like Illinois. The recent U of I study concluded there's little to no economic development benefit to right to work. Moody's Analytics, like that bastion of liberalism, said, since laws that hurt unions shift the balance of power from employees to owners, they tend to erode wages and lead to more uneven distribution of the gains of economic wealth. The fact that even Moody's says that right to work is probably bad for our communities, that should say something, I think, to it. So once again, I stand before you and urge you to reject this turnaround agenda resolution. Thanks.
You guys already know how I feel, and we work hard and we don't have to do a lot. And I know you guys will have more to do everything, so thank you.
My name is P.J. McCullough. I live in the community, work in the community, vote in the community. I was here last month, a couple weeks ago we were here. The big thing I have is, when we were here 2 weeks ago, how many people were speaking out in favor of right to work? versus how many people were speaking out against a right to work zone. Now, that, to me, says something about the constituency of the community. Either the people that are in favor of right to work don't care, or there aren't any of them out there, or the people that are out there are very few. So my comment to the board, to the people on the committee, it would be the people that care about right to work care. If there's somebody in this room that wants a right to work zone, please speak up, because I have yet to find here a good argument for right to work. But I guarantee you this, right to work could be one of those things that gets people that have been on the sidelines for 20, 30 years to take up a petition and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to get involved because the board is not speaking for me. The board is not speaking for us, and those people probably could get elected. So if your concern may be if I don't vote for right to work, like the governor wants, they're going to primary me, I'd recommend that the place to worry about is the other side, because the grassroots effort would be a lot bigger than the money that's going to come out of county from the governor or from his PAC to get people reelected. So that's just my concern. If there's anybody, like I say, if there's anybody in the room that is for right to work, please speak up. I have yet to hear a good argument for right to work. Thank you.
I'm Don Sly, and I'm a retired state of Illinois employee. I was an RN for the state of Illinois, registered nurse for 24 years. And I'm here to take my retirement. Also, the wages that the current state of Illinois employees make, and other people as well. Something to think about. I don't know if any of you own businesses in the area, but if the working people don't get paid, they ain't going to be customers. It's been said that there's all kinds of issues against the right to work. Again, I don't hear anything for it. Why vote yes for something that's not wanted and not needed? It's not going to help the community.
My name's Al Wilson. I'm Brad. I'm one of the outsiders. The only thing I'd offer is that one of the other parts of this resolution is the prevailing wage. And I don't think Iroquois County has a problem with unions moving in. But if you start bidding out contracts with prevailing wage, if your prevailing wage is someone will work for $4 an hour instead of $8 an hour, they're not going to be able to patronize your business. That will hurt, because that will hurt the Iroquois County. That's why all the parts of this resolution are bad for your community. I don't understand the governor to make $58 million every year. Why we want to do this to working class people. Nobody's trying to pocket. We're not attorneys looking to pocket a lot of money. All we want is a living wage. And I just don't feel that we're wrong with that. Prevailing wage, we'll take that away. Thank you.
Right, well, I'd like to say one other thing that I've got before. I mentioned that I'm a retiree from the state of Illinois. I'm not getting rich. I'll show my retirement checks to anybody. I'm not getting rich. And I don't intend to get rich off the state of Illinois retirement system. But I got to live. And, it's just, if I don't get the money for retirement, I'm going to get someplace else. I'm not alone either. I have to be a precinct committee meeting and represent a lot of people in my precinct that are in the same situation that I'm in. I'm not from this area, by the way. I'm from KT. I'm sure there's people in your area that are in the same situation that I am. Us people that work for the state of Illinois, when we were working, we contributed to our retirement system. We were told that it would be there. We were guaranteed it would be there. And now, because legislators screw up over the years and don't manage the money the way they should, we're having to pay the price. Like we're the bad guys and everybody else is great. Well, that's just plain not true. I worked hard when I worked for the state of Illinois. And you may like to, I'll sit down with them and give you stories about it. But I think you're intelligent people. I don't think you're going to do something that's going to hurt your community.
Any other public comment?
Basically, the last time I talked about the law, everybody shows up about that. But the thing is, I mean, when we got this job, we were promised that was part of the package. You're going to have this pension. I knew my son's dad away and they needed a job pension. And now my son wants to start right there and he says, Mom, I don't know about that pension stuff. I said, you know, I think that shit should fail. And, you know, we just keep getting alcohol. My husband, teacher, and they're going to go with Academy now, the teachers union. And, you know, we just, you know, that was just, we don't pay $1 million, we don't, but we had something that we need to hang on to. And, you know, that was just part of the act. So, that's all. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Kevin?
I got one question. Okay, say we don't do this, and the state goes bankrupt. What happens to all your pensions? Now, we've been especially careful here. Our pensions are sound. They're going to be paid up within a couple of years, and they're safe. But if the state goes bankrupt, what about all you guys? I mean, it's one thing to say this is bad, but if you don't save the state and it goes bankrupt, what happens?
This is not safe at state line. Prevailing wage is not safe at state line.
But we pay prevailing wage for years.
Well, I'm sorry.
He's not going to stop with it. This needs money, a full of money. He'll do that. Don't produce stuff. State's got money when state wants to have money.
It sure does. It's got money, but big corporations, all kinds of huge.
Well, our politicians are on the highest paid.
I understand your point. There's no economic incentive for the state of Illinois to right to work for prevailing wage. There is no statewide incentive. There's the economic system.
You know, it's interesting. I was confronted by a gentleman a couple of years ago. He said, I know what's wrong with the state of Illinois economics. It's all these retired state of Illinois employees that are making $85,000 a year pensions. So, wait a minute, where are you getting that figure at? Where's the answer at $65,000 a year? Because you know what, I ain't getting it if I'm supposed to be getting it. I like it. That's fair. The state of Illinois has got money, it's just not managing it properly. And putting all the money in the tax benefits to billionaires. I don't know if any of you folks are billionaires. I'm far from it. But this thing is trickle-down economics. It flat doesn't work. The only place trickle-down works is if you're in the washroom.
Any other public comment? Seeing no more public comment. We'll get back to this down a little farther. Committee chair here. John Sherr, judicial.
We'll be taking our normal reports, probably have some discussions with some of the events that have taken place recently, the outages that we had, and so forth. But, otherwise, just usual stuff.
Russell, highway.
The only thing that stands out, we've got 4 levies that we'll be looking at, taking bids on a couple road jobs, bridge, and annual striping.
Management, you got anything going on this month? Not much, yeah, but
Gonna hopefully let the bids for the roof here and at the jail, for the boiler project, and the parking lot, and then some of the things that just have been updates on projects that are going on, the highlights.
could be a lengthy meeting. Kevin,
I
finance?
don't think there's anything, it's just normal monthly business. Yeah, I know they're getting the property tax bill should be out. You're thinking they'll be out by tonight?
No.
Well, maybe by the first. Tomorrow.
They were here till after 7 o'clock last night.
That's amazing, we're getting it out this early. This is really good, isn't it?
Dale?
Tax is gonna take the normal department reports, and I'll bet we'll talk about dogs.
That could possibly come up. Okay. Zoning with Dan, he's not here, he's planting corn, I'm not sure if there's anything big on the zoning. Bob, you know of anything?
I'm after 221 to the zoning board of appeals, Steve Rath, Berlin, over, and John Hunter, and everybody, like, people, the fire island, and push forward with the
The health, as far as the health committee, again, I'm not sure what Troy will have on there. Is there anything popping up, Dee, that we should be aware of?
We're waiting on, guys from, we went on health, community services, IPOA, on what our grant funding will look like. Let's get that out.
You're waiting on guidance from the state. Good luck.
We will know what our grant amount will be. So they know, and the department won't know until the budget's brought out.
Okay. As the report, Eric's going to do that finance. Go on today. Skip right over chairman's comment. We have anything new? ETSB advisory panel update. Don't see NIDA anywhere, but I'm going to let her kind of touch on what she has learned in the last couple of weeks. But I would say the majority of the panel probably going to lean towards a public safety tax, where that's out there. They're going to want us to try to push that through, put on the ballot at some point. I could be wrong. Maybe they'll come up with another solution, but be advised. Correspondence, do they have anything new?
No.
Claims, do they have any claims?
No claims.
Jeez. Appointments, so today's Susan's last official day as county board member. That I'll get a hold of Shane. He's still the chairman. Let him know officially. It's on the paper, everybody knows it, but do the right steps and start working on that. Forensic audit update. Hoping Andrew will be here at the full board, which will make that meeting a little lengthy. Back to the possible resolution in support of right to work zones, prevailing wage reform, and workers' compensation reform. Everybody has what do they call it? The resolution. In front of them. One of Amanda put it in the, so it goes in the minutes.
Well, the way this reads to me, if we support this thing from the governor, it goes to election here by the people of this area to support whether or not it's...
Yeah, they have to change state law first, as far as the right to work zone. I don't believe he disagrees with the Attorney General's opinion that it's not legal in the state of Illinois at this point, but his plan he has to change state law before it anything can happen.
Now, to me, that would be better than us making the decision, let the voters decide. Then people on both sides can lobby and put up their signs. And
That's right, Kevin. If this goes to the state, and the state works on their issues, and if they could come up with some type of documentation that they can throw back at us, at that point, when the voters in our community will have a chance to go vote and decide if they want to do it or not. It's not the county board making the decision, it'll be the voters of Iroquois County making that decision, which is going to be years down the road, because I'm sure the state will take this thing, and they might not go any place with it. But at the same time, if they do, it will actually come back to your local voters.
Whereas voters in our community should be allowed to decide via referendum whether or not employees should be forced to join a union and pay dues. But
something, because there's both sides.
voters should decide.
There should be both sides represented that way. They can vote their conscience. Shouldn't be our decision to,
Right.
you know, I like people voting. Let them decide. I always count elections as report cards. That's the thing that's hurting us, is the workman's comp and the right to work next door. Jesus, they're killing us. All our factories go there. Lifetime doors, Bosch.
I think, however, this resolution doesn't make any determination. All it does is support the discussion in Springfield. Is that not correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. And they gotta do something, they gotta fix it. I don't know if they can get it fixed. It seems to be very well broken. But I don't know. You don't do nothing. I've had people contact me that are worried about losing their pensions that are retired. So you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't here.
John?
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt this as a resolution, send it to the governor, president of the Senate, speaker of the House, our local legislators as well.
You want this one to go, we don't want to touch anything number 7. Okay. Motion?
I can second it.
Anthony,
See where the votes go.
Read that back one time, please, Amanda.
Will you just restate who you're sending it to?
The governor, president of the Senate, speaker of the House, and our local representatives, House and Senate both.
Again, that depends on how they get it done, if they get it done, but when it comes back to the voters, that's pretty key. Whether that's how it comes back, like I said, there's a lot of ifs and buts, but that's how it comes back, that's not necessarily a bad idea.
So we're adopting the resolution to send to the governor, president of the Senate, speaker of the House, and our local representatives, and seconded by Kevin. Okay.
Any other discussion from the committee? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Hanson?
Yep.
Bill?
Yes.
Sure?
Yes.
Schultz?
Yes.
Barron?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes. Motion carries. It now goes to the full board. The full board.
12.
May 12th. Just get out of committee, go to the full board, and the full board will vote. Public comment parameters. That's, if we want to decide to put a time limit on it and how they're going to, I mean, I like to have public comment. Back and forth is fine, but just to throw it out there, if we want to, you have to adopt something, policy on public comment. You can't stop public comment, we don't want to, but if we want to say 5 minutes, 3 minutes, we can have one shot at going back up and saying, rebut something, I don't know. We don't need to make any decisions today, I just want to get it out there, kick it around, think about it.
We have none in place at this point.
Could be.
I think there should be some parameters, absolutely, with some flexibility, hopefully.
Yeah.
You don't want to shut something down that makes sense, but you don't want somebody to be able to go on and on and on and on.
I think time limit is important, but I think subject matter also ought to be considered. People should be limited to subject matter that's timely or current issues before the board, and not things that go, beyond that scope. There's been a couple of instances that I can recall where individuals have gotten up and attacked other people, or specifically wanted to single that out. To me, that's not an appropriate place to do that.
I think the chairman should have a great deal of liberty in determining what is repetitious, but does not need to be carried to be cut or added to the comment section as he sees desired. I agree that the chairman should have wide-ranging, but I think we should have something in place so that if the chairman would forget to mention it ahead of time, at least he'd have something to fall back on. That's all.
It also helps to justify his position if he wants to stop somebody from carrying on. If there's a time limit, he can certainly grant an extension of that time limit if it seems appropriate. But otherwise, having a general
And as far as board discussion itself, not public comment section, but board discussion, the board can yak about something, basically filibuster forever until somebody calls a question, going by the rules.
At least the Panther doesn't like it when somebody calls for a question.
It creates a bunch of other issues. We try to avoid it.
Okay, like I said, that's just food for thought. We need to look and make sure, obviously I don't want to violate any open meetings, and just figure out how to do it correctly.
Does anyone else think there's merit in having something about the subject matter of a comment?
It's fine. I don't see how it would be wrong.
No, I just, sitting here trying to figure out how to word something like that.
I'm not sure.
To leave it open up enough,
Right, I'm not sure I have the answer either, but as I said, I can recall several times when people got a little far afield and there were personal attacks or other things that, I just don't think that was the right venue or the right place for it.
But if somebody deserves a personal attack in public, I mean, politics is politics. So.
Eliminating subject matter before the board would maybe stop something from being brought to the board's attention that needs to be brought to the board's attention.
Keep taking a look at it. Yeah, that was the only reason it was on there, just wrap your head around it. Old business, new business. I want to make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Sorry.
So, all those in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned.
Yeah.